G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here with another episode of Season 2 of our Pathfinder Kingmaker Varnhold's Lot playthrough. When last we left off, we were down here in the Lost Lan Keep, the depths. Now, you may notice something a little tiny bit different. We were here when we left off the last episode. I have literally been sitting here for the last 5 minutes waiting for this grease to dissipate so I could come through, and instead I decided to just move the guys individually past the grease pile, and we will move on from there. We've had enough of Cephal, Buster Keaton, Laurentus's pratfalls for the day, so we will just continue on from here. Now, I can't say that I have done much further than this in my previous playthrough, so this is all going to be extremely new to me. But we're going to check everything out and see what we can find. Ooh, what? Ah, these guys are now satyrs, and Cephal is right in the crap. Oh, thank God that was... yeah, not good. Okay. Really got to get back into this. I've actually been playing the base game, the base adventure playthrough with a group of Maguses recently. An Eldritch Scion, 2 Maguses, and 2 Eldritch Archers with Lindsay, and been very much enjoying that. But your tactics are very different when you've got some melee characters who can charge in and do things rather than all archers. So, we've already remembered from last time. It's also been a week or so since I've played this because I was on call at work and unable to do this last weekend. I think our best bet... I don't like those red caps. Oh, but there's an enchanter. And we missed with every goddamn shot. How the hell does that happen? Baldur? Tracery. It's actually really interesting. I've been thinking a lot more about how the Maguses work. And I love the Magus. I think it's a really great class, and I still feel that the Eldritch Archers are more powerful than the other 3 archetypes of Magus, the Eldritch Scion, and the Sword Saint, because the Eldritch Archer has 2 different cantrips that do damage. The other guys, the melee ones, there are no actual melee cantrips that do damage. All they have is Touch of Fatigue, which makes the opponent fatigued, which can lower their armor class and things like that, but it doesn't actually do any damage. But what I've been thinking about that is interesting about the mechanics of the Magus is the fact that I'm going to keep playing while I do this, but as a Magus... let's try that. Very good. The spells that the Magus uses are all touch-based spells, whether they're melee touch-based or range touch-based. Now, the advantage of a touch-based spell is that they use the touch-based armor class. And so if I pick a character like Baldur here, Baldur has a 31 armor class normally. That's his full armor plus his dex bonus that he's getting. And we can see here, he's got a base armor class of 10. 5 points of his dexterity is being added to his armor class. He's got an extra 2 points of deflection from his braces. He's wearing Battlemaster plate, which gives him an extra 13 points. He has a natural armor enhancement of +1. That gives him a total of 31. But his touch-based is only 7 because he only gets his base armor class of 10 plus his dexterity bonus and the braces of deflection. He doesn't get anything from his armor at all, because the idea is with a touch-based spell like Shocking Grasp, all you have to do is touch the opponent to do damage to them. You don't have to get through their armor. And that's an interesting thing about the Magus class, because all of the spells they use are touch-based, and yet the what am I doing? Red cap is evil. Good. We don't have any smite evils left. So yes, as I was saying, the touch-based spells are what they use, what the Maguses use, but they are able to cast those spells through their weapon. So what it does is it changes that spell so that it doesn't use touch armor class anymore. It uses their normal armor class. So if you take an Eldritch Archer, they actually have to hit and penetrate with their arrow to do damage with the spell. Whereas if I was to cast, say, Scorching Ray as a normal mage, I only need to do a ranged touch-based attack rather than an actual normal ranged missile attack for that spell to work. So it's actually a slight disadvantage, not slight, in some cases it can be a very pronounced disadvantage as a Magus, because a normal mage or sorcerer using those spells might be able to hit way more often than you could as... Why are you missing so much? The normal mage might be able to hit with either those range touch attack spells or even the melee touch attack spells. They might be able to hit way more often than the Maguses, any of the Maguses, because the other Maguses have to use their melee weapons to do that. And they've got to get through the armor for it to penetrate and do the damage. I would love it to not be that way. I would love it so that if the attack with a sword, for example, was to hit technically a touch-based hit, which means it bounces off your armor, and you see it in the game all the time. You can see a situation where a character swings and it says it's a miss, but you can see, like, it looks like it hit, but it didn't get through the armor. Or with a bow, for example, you can see the arrow will bounce off, like that one there just did. You could see the quarrel bounced off. So it hit but didn't penetrate. That's essentially a range-based touch. And it would be interesting to have it so that even though you attack with a weapon, whether it's a melee weapon or a missile weapon, when that weapon does a range-based hit, so it hits the armor but doesn't penetrate, the spell can still work. And I would like to see that. It's not going to happen, of course. It's not really specified in the rules whether it changes from, whether it's supposed to change from a range-based touch attack to a normal attack. It just says that you deliver the attack through your weapons. But I would very much like it to be that way. I'm going to just move back a little bit here because way too close. But I really need to get rid of this enchanter as quickly as possible because I think he has debuffed a couple of us now, and I'm not happy with that. And Hilfarn's going to go down in a second, I think. See, that was a miss, another miss right there. It showed as a hit. It showed as a miss, but it sounded like a hit. And that's something that's easy for the game to do, because it's trivial to do the calculation to work out whether the hit was a range-based, was a touch-based hit, but not penetrating. So yeah, it's definitely a very interesting mechanic, and I would love to have seen that actually implemented in the game. Whether that's the rules or not, because I've never played this character class. I've never actually played Pathfinder in the tabletop game at all. So I don't know whether that's actually how the rules are supposed to be done. And it's entirely possible that there's a homebrew sort of thing there where it's like, well, your DM can decide how he wants to run that. If the DM wants to do it that it only needs to be a touch-based attack for that attack, and then if there's enough of if the roll is high enough to actually do penetration damage, then the spell and the weapon will damage, otherwise just the spell will damage. Maybe that's what it was sort of meant to be, I don't know. And I got a feeling I've been talking too much and not concentrating enough, because we're in a pretty bad situation right here. That wasn't the spell I wanted to recall, damn it. I thought I had Dispel Magic, and that's what that was, but I was obviously mistaken. Not that haste isn't a bad thing to take right now, but let's get that back and use that against the red cap, I think. Are you going to work or not? Why? Because it takes an action to recall that spell, so I just wasted my turn, basically. That's fine. You need to chug some potions, Cephal. And in fact, I'm going to give you another potion. Actually, I should be giving you one of these, I guess. And hold monster. No, it sort of feels too late, but and he saved. So yeah, it was too late. Drek. Just I'm concerned about this archer back here, because he's going to wreck Cephal, even if this guy doesn't. Baldor's lost his grief debuff, which is good, because I need Baldor to... Yep, there goes Cephal. I need Baldor to start dealing some damage here. So, I meant to click the red cap, but that's fine. You've just killed that guy. You can take out that satyr, hopefully, with... See? I gotta say, that is... Scorching Ray and then eventually Hellfire Ray are the bomb with Eldritch Archers. I've done a playthrough. I got to level 30-something. Actually, I think it was level 40 or something like that, of the Beneath the Stolen Lands, with a party of all 6 characters were Eldritch Archers. And we were just absolutely wrecking things with Scorching Rays. We were up to level 18. Character level 18. And just absolutely slaying it. So as you can see here, the armor class we were going up against on that satyr was armor class of 16, and I believe that was the full armor class that he had. Oh, it won't let us... It's not really finding him properly for me to... and that one might not have the same ACs. What has that guy got? For... We can't tell his armor class. That's not... Oh, there we go. 19 normally, 13 flat-footed. That guy was 16 normally, I would think, the archer. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting mechanic with the whole ranged touch attack for the Magus classes. But I love the class no matter what. I mean, it's a powerhouse. You're getting that extra attack per round. Well, you don't always get it every round. The interesting thing is, well, you do as an Eldritch Archer. There's an interesting little caveat, whether it's a bug or what, I don't know, but as a Magus, Eldritch Scion, Sword Saint, if you cast the spell and then attack and miss, the next attack that you do will still have that spell charged, and so you can hit and do it. So if you finish the round and miss, or even finish the combat and miss with that charge, the next combat or the next round, when you attack, that charge is still there. And so you only get the one swing. You don't get an extra one. It's a little bit weird. I don't know whether it's intentional or not, but it is definitely interesting. But you don't have that with the Eldritch Archer because the shot is what uses the spell up. So whether it misses or not, you use it up. But for some reason, the Magus, Eldritch Scion, and Sword Saint, if they miss with their melee attack, the spell is still charged until they actually hit. And I like, if the developers wouldn't be watching my channel, but if the developers do ever watch this and they see that, I don't know whether that is supposed to be that way or not, and you might want to consider changing it. I wouldn't say fixing it, because I don't necessarily know if it's broken or not. It sort of feels it, though. And it does feel weird to be playing along and suddenly your character, who you're expecting to make 2 attacks this round, one with a spell and one without, just does a single attack, and it misses, and you go, wait, what happened there? And the next round they attack just once again, and it hits, and suddenly the spell goes off, and you go, oh, that was from 3 or 4 rounds ago. I've just been missing all this time. So it's a little weird, but yeah. Okay, hopefully this satyr is going down. Ugh. And yes, thank God for that. Okay. That was quite bad, in fact. Let's just come over here. I really should be very vigilant about healing. Oh my God, look at all that. We've got no heals. Yeah, cure light wounds. Scroll of heal. Okay. Here's what we're doing. So, all of your spells are gone off the bar? What the? Surely there should be... Oh, No, maybe she just doesn't have those spells yet. Okay. Let's do heal for Cephal. Beautiful. Heal for whose name I can't remember. And cure heavy wounds on yourself. Beautiful. And I think that'll do. We're probably going to have to try and find somewhere that it is reasonably safe to rest at some point. How are we doing for supplies? 18. So what's that going to be? 3 rests, because there's 5 of us. Unless we can get some more supplies. Tatsel worms. And a greater Tatsel worm. And a quickling Tatsel worm. Oh, isn't this fun? Okay, so Baldur. Just kill that one for me, please. See, he listens. Cephal. An obsidian flow there. Yeah. I don't know, what else we got? Volcanic storm. Now that is more like it. And we did a truckload of damage. That's what I like to see. So we killed that Tatsel worm. And you know, a third of the damage on that one, on that one, and 3/4 of that one. And that area, I believe it makes it hard to move through as well. Yes, it's difficult terrain. Beautiful. I don't think I've used that spell before, but reasonably happy with it, I must say. And yes, please cluster up as much as you can, because if I get the chance, I'm going to use another area of effect spell on you. We got these Hellfire Rays as well. Isn't that lovely? I love Hellfire Ray. But we're going to just use Ray of Frost there. Didn't do anything. That's fine. Hill Farm. Ugh. Everyone and their dog is missing at the moment. Okay. Those guys are close enough together that if I have to, Cephal can fireball them or some such. No, you can't fireball them because you don't have any fireballs left. In fact, we have very few, except for Obsidian Flow, so I think instead... even the Burning Arc was no use. So... Thank you, Drek. And Tracery. Yeah, not too bad. Just keep the pressure up. Thank you, Hillfern. Okay. Yes, very much thinking that a rest is in order. We're getting low on some spells. Just conscious about how far I have to go to get to some decent solid ground, because I sort of doubt it'll let me camp. It will let me camp in knee-deep water? I don't even want to try that. It just sounds crazy. Like... even this is like ankle-deep water. I wouldn't really want to camp in there. If I'm going to camp, I'd have to come back up here, but I just don't... I don't know how far along the water goes. Can we get up here? More worms. A purple Dwemer Tatzelworm. Where is that? There. Oh my god. Okay. Cephal. What is that one? Dimensional Steps. We know we don't really want to use that unless we have to. Stinking Cloud, maybe? Yeah, that's pretty good. I can live with that. If I get the chance, I might throw a web in with that as well. Now let's just start picking them off. One by... okay, I was going to hopefully do one by one, but there is a web here as well. It's probably worthwhile doing that. Everything I can to just slow them down a little bit. Ooh, there's some sort of door up there. I'm sure that'll be for next episode, though. Hilfarn. Can we get a prayer, please, Hilfarn? I'd feel a little bit better if we could be a little bit buffed. And I'm going to get you, Drek, to buff up your weapon as well. Okay. Cephal. Might as well, because it does a little bit of damage as well. I mean, it's just more area of effect, but anything I can do to... Okay. Just one hit and they're down. So this guy's going to be the hard one because he's basically got mirror image that we've got to keep getting through, but he's only got a handful more images that we've got to kill. So I don't think it's going to be too hard. Oh, I should have actually paid attention to what that was going to do. I thought it was Baldur, not Cephal. One. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. It's not showing the door up there anymore. Probably because we're not close enough to it. Yeah, I've got to wait for all of that to dissipate. Oh my god, Cephal actually made it through somehow. It's just Hillfarm that got caught. Why not? Let's rest. Whew. We managed to rest and survive. And I think that's a perfect place to end this episode. So thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Pathfinder Kingmaker Varnhold's Lot Season 2, our playthrough of archers using the turn-based combat mod. If you like this episode, please give me a like and share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest episodes, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.